I'm Terry Gannon in Lyon, France. Tonight, the culmination of a series of competitions that have been held all around the globe. The men and the ladies take the ice for the Grand Prix of figure skating final. 6 countries, 3 continents, 18,000 miles have led to this moment. A Grand Prix championship on the line. 2 bright stars lead the way. 2-time world champion Michelle Kwan opened the season with wins at Skate America and Skate Canada. Tonight, she looks to book a flight to the top of the podium again. Yevgeny Plushenko, the teenager from Russia, won 3 times in this series. Now he also hopes to complete a perfect journey.
Right now, right here, right now, right here, right now.
The ladies' challengers include Maria Butyrskaya, the reigning world champion. She's captured 3 Grand Prix titles, but has struggled to keep on top of her game. While Arina Slutskaya has regained the form that carried her to 2 European titles, the Russian veteran is again a top contender. On the men's side, 3-time world champ Elvis Stoico is out to prove that an elder statesman can keep up with the sport's young guns, like American Timothy Gable, whose huge quad jumps have taken the world by surprise. After spanning the globe, tonight the men's and ladies' Grand Prix champions will be crowned here on ABC Sports. The city of Lyon, the 3rd largest here in France, with a population of over 1.2 million people. Not only a center of social and commercial activity, but the capital of French cuisine. There are more restaurants here per square meter than any other town in the world. And with a history that dates back to the Roman Empire, the old architecture here helps make it one of Europe's most charming cities, especially at night. But tonight the focus is inside the Lyon Sports Palace. We welcome you inside, along with Peggy Fleming, Dick Button, and Leslie Visser. I'm Terry Gannon. We're getting set for the Grand Prix of figure skating final. And hello again, everyone. The field here in Lyon is as impressive as you will find in any event outside of the World Championships. Tonight, the men and the ladies. Tomorrow afternoon, we're back with you as the pairs and ice dancers take the ice. Our coverage begins at 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 Pacific, here on ABC Sports. Now, the men will skate a little bit later tonight. First up, though, the ladies. And here are the 6 who have made it here to the final. Michelle Kwan with 2 early season wins, skates for the first time in the Grand Prix against the reigning world champ Maria Butyrskaya. On down the list, 4 Russians here and Lyashenko from Ukraine. This is a radical format, much different. The first 2 rounds include a free skate worth 2/3 of the score, then a short program that is worth 1/3 of the score. After that, if you are in the top 4, you move on to the super final, where you have to skate another free skate. The slate, though, is wiped clean. The skaters in 3rd and 4th place, they battle head-to-head for the bronze. And the top 2 skaters here, they skate head-to-head for the gold medal. Now, the top 2 rounds, the first 2 have already been completed, and there have been some surprises. Let's take a look back and see what has already transpired. The first lady to take the ice in round 1, Yulia Soldatova of Russia. And the world bronze medalist had her problems early on. But she would finish strongly and set the standard for the ladies. And here is the reigning world champion, perfect on the season in the Grand Prix. 3 wins, one at Nations Cup, one in Paris at Trophy La Ligue, and then the NHK title in Japan. Maria Butyrskaya.
Triple Lutz jump. And I think that signifies exactly the story of her skating. Enormous competitive spirit. This triple flip. And that again is what happens to her on so many occasions. She'll do well one moment and then fall apart the next. Triple loop jump.
A little shaky.
She held on to that.
She really wanted to hold on to that landing, no matter what. Nice triple Salchow into a double axel that she turned out of.
Well, clearly a very weak performance from Maria Bucherskaya. When she skates on, she's, covers up so many of the inadequacies that she's really beautiful and very competitive and quite wonderful. And when she's not on, she has no technique to stand her in good stead, pull her through.
Despite the inconsistencies, being the reigning world champion does carry some weight. She received solid marks from the judges and moved into the lead, but only temporarily. Michelle Kwan takes the ice, perfect on the season. And the first head-to-head matchup with Maria Bucherskaya in the Grand Prix this season. She's following her on the ice. Here's the two-time world champion.
She's opening as she always does. The early part of the program with this triple Lutz. Double toe loop.
Very
neat,
solid.
clean, and very good.
Nice triple flip, had good lift, looked very easy. Final triple toe loop.
Well, that was a wonderful performance. Clean, complete, very steady. Not as fast as she can sometimes skate, but what a complete program that was.
Clearly the best performance of the evening to that point. A heavy competition schedule as of late, but Michelle Kwan very good on this night in Lyon. Here's the recent winner of the Russian National Championships, Irina Slutskaya.
Opening triple Lutz. Here's a triple Salchow. Double loop.
And watch this entrance into this triple loop as she does these back threes and goes right up into that.
Her Bielman spin, a strong close to her program. And Irina Slutskaya, who recently defeated Maria Bucherskaya at the Russian Nationals, jumps ahead of her in the standings here in Lyon. So after round one, Michelle Kwan, the leader, but it's not Bucherskaya, but Irina Slutskaya behind her in second place. Yulia Soldatova, also of Russia, rounds out the top four. Then Lyashenko of Ukraine and Volchkova of Russia in sixth. Then it was on to round two, the short program worth 1/3 of the total score. And Michelle Kwan took the ice to skate to Jeff Beck's version of the Beatles, A Day in the Life. She didn't disappoint. Two extraordinary performances by Michelle Kwan, and it guaranteed her a spot in the superfinal. Kwan will battle Irina Slutskaya for the gold medal. They have the top two places here in Lyon. Maria Bucherskaya takes on Yulia Soldatova for the bronze medal. And back with you now, Terry Gannon, along with Olympic champions Dick Button and Peggy Fleming. Peggy, maybe the most talked about thing here, the format, the radical format. What an adjustment for these skaters having to compete 3 times within the span of about 24 hours.
Well, Terry, this brand new format is really testing the competitors' endurance. Surviving this marathon has become just as critical in this format as mental focus, and that combination seems to be wearing down the reigning world champion, Maria Bucherskaya. For Maria, this season has been slowly filling with thunderclouds. Her season has been shaken. Her car was torched just hours before her Russian national championship, which she lost that title this year. It seems her demons have returned. But for Michelle Kwan, the skies seem much clearer, even with her complicated schedule of skating and school. The new format is a strain for her too, but she certainly has dominated this championship so far.
And she's been terrific to this point, but Dick, most thought it would be Michelle Kwan against the world champion, Maria Butyrskaya. What happened? We've got Irina Slutskaya skating for the gold here.
Well, I kind of like her. You know, I can never forget that at the 1997 European Championships, I interviewed Irina Slutskaya in the kiss and cry area, and she had the roundest apple red chipmunk cheeks of any 16-year-old I've ever seen. So I asked her, could I pinch your cheeks? And she said, sure. Only old men like to pinch my cheeks. Well, she's just come out of a 2-year slump. Perhaps helped by a new marriage, she's grabbed hold of her career, learned from her mistakes, improved her conditioning, her costumes, her style, and her jumps. Now the question is, can she beat Michelle Kwan in this super final? Well, maybe not this year, but it seems to me she's getting stronger and better every day.
So we are set for the ladies super final. Maria Butyrskaya takes on fellow Russian Yulia Soldatova next for the bronze medal.
Maria Butyrskaya.
Welcome back to the Grand Prix of figure skating final here in Lyon. Maria Butyrskaya taking the ice as we get this super final underway. Terry Gannon along with Peggy Fleming, Dick Button, and Leslie Visser. Here is the reigning world champion battling Yulia Soldatova for the bronze.
And her choice of music is Swan Lake. She said she's in her favorite color of costume because she's like two different people. That's why it's black and white. I can be harsh and strong, but I also can be soft and fragile.
Very nice
opening triple Lutz.
And of course, the black and white reflects the black swan and the white swan, same element. This triple flip, again, a very difficult move.
This, of course, her second free skate in just 2 days here at the Grand Prix final. And this free program, by the rules, must be at least 50% different than the other free skate in terms of the music, the costume, the character of the program.
Now this combination, a triple toe loop, half loop, triple salchow. It's only a double. Very nice triple loop, very easy, elegant jump.
This has not been a smooth season for the world champion. Peggy mentioned earlier her car being set on fire on a Moscow street as she was in her apartment just before the Russian nationals. 2 men seen fleeing right before it was set on fire, but the investigation still continues.
That's got to be really unnerving to have happen to you. Nice triple salchow. She looks very focused, very determined.
What a really interesting skater she is. I think the lack of pressure from the previous championship, the previous parts of this competition have left her without any nervousness here at all. She would have liked to have done these jumps in the earlier program. She's a skater who has a quality that is very lovely. She can sometimes have tension, but on the other hand, she's very fragile. Now, look at she does this triple flip. Watch first the entrance, the toe pick, the lift, the turns. Very good, but not quite good enough when she lands. Her legs are not soft. She doesn't knee into it, and as a result, she bounces out of it.
And there's a look now at the panel of 7 judges making the decisions. Dick, what are they thinking?
Now, what the judges look for in the ladies' competition is, first of all, a well-balanced program, a good mix of spins, jumps, and footwork, quality extensions, particularly in the spirals, originality of movement throughout the program, and footwork that has speed and quality of edges and variety and difficulty.
And of course, what the judges look for, the same here, but the scoring much different. And the marks for Maria Butyrskaya, the first set for technical merit, 5.4 up to 5.6 as she puts on the sneakers. And we go back to the days of Dick Button outside. There is a computer problem here, so the judges manually holding up their scores.
Well, you know, the wonderful part about this is then you can relate each score to each judge, and you know exactly what that country and that judge is doing.
And now the second set of marks, and these are for presentation. 5.7s and 5.8s for the reigning world champion. And up next, her challenger, also from Russia, the 18-year-old from Moscow, Yulia Soldatova, takes the ice when we return to Lyon.
The International Skating Union, the sports federation that governs figure and speed skating worldwide. With a membership of more than 50 countries, the ISU is responsible for the technical control and the direction of the world's most important skating events. The International Skating Union, bringing you grace, power, speed, and champions since 1892.
Michelle Kwan still to skate here in the super final, of course. Earlier this week, she had a chance to play the role of tourist, strolling through the Old Town section of Lyon, and no doubt did a lot of damage to the credit card here in the city. Don't forget, our coverage of the Grand Prix final concludes tomorrow afternoon. We're back with you at 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 Pacific here on ABC. We'll have the pairs in ice dancing championships. Jamie Salé and David Peltier taking on the 2-time world champions Berezhnaya and Sika Radlidze. And in dance, Marina Anasina and Gwendal Pezara skating here in their hometown. 4 o'clock Eastern, right here on ABC, your home for Super Bowl 34.
Yulia Soldatova.
The super final continues here in Lyon, and taking the ice, trying to top Maria Butyrskaya for the bronze medal here. Fellow Russian, 18 years of age from Moscow. Here is Yulia Soldatova, the reigning world bronze medalist.
She's opening with a triple salchow, possibly a triple toe loop, but it was only a double. Very nice. And another combination, triple Lutz, double toe combination.
Now watch the toe pick particularly right there. The way it angles to the side. It did not affect her on this jump, but it has in the past. Good speed on this flying camel. Actually, this format removes a lot of the tension and the nervousness from the skaters. Having gone through 2 programs already, I think they're too relaxed and too tired to be nervous. Look at this flip again. Look at the toe pick.
And now this longer combination, this triple loop, stepping into a double axel. Here's the triple loop. She only did a double. And now stepping into the double axel and hopping into a double toe.
Those are very floppy, sloppy kind of combination.
Well, she didn't go in with an attack. These are very slow.
She's a very pretty and likable skater, but she doesn't seem to have great competitive sharpness.
It seemed like last year she had more snap and energy to her skating. She's seeming to like blend a lot of her moves this season.
Choreography of this program looks as though she's sort of thrown it together.
But this move, this back spiral right into a triple salchow, very difficult and effective too.
Yulia was enjoying a solid season with 3 second-place finishes in the Grand Prix series until she got to the Russian Nationals, where she finished 4th. So not only skating to impress these judges, but maybe the Russian Federation too, in order to make the World Championship team.
I think she's got to get a little crisper, a little sharper in her moves. An awful lot of arm movements.
Final triple toe loop.
Final combination spin. Well, she ended on beat.
Yes,
on
she
the
did.
beat.
And she feels pretty good about herself, too.
Head-to-head with Maria Butirskaya, the fellow Russian and the world champion. Yulia Soldatova, her effort here in the second free skate of the Grand Prix final.
Now, look at this toe jump. Right here, that toe pick is way over to the side, but it did not affect her here. Here's a closer one. Watch how the ankle goes over to the side. And, well, you see right there, it really does give them a very rough takeoff. Didn't affect her here, but it certainly did in the earlier rounds of this competition.
5-7, 5-5.
And now the mark says the computer system is back up and running. So much for the old days. First set for technical merit, 5.3 up to 5.7. clearly below those of Maria Butyrskaya. And for presentation, 5.4 up to 5.8, so she falls short. It's Maria Butyrskaya who wins the bronze medal here in Lyon. When we come back to Lyon, the gold medal matchup. Michelle Kwan, Arina Slutskaya. They'll come out swinging after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Simply the best. Coming live to the New York area. Champions on ice. Michelle Kwan, Brian Boitana, Dorothy Hamill, Elvis Stoico, Oksana Bayou, Victor Petrenko, Nicole Boban, Rudy Galindo. The John Hancock Summer Tour of Champions on Ice. Coming live to these New York area arenas. Tickets on sale Monday. Don't miss it.
The ISU Grand Prix of Figure Skating final continues on ABC Sports.
Back in Lyon with a look at Michelle Kwan, moments away from taking the ice to skate for the gold medal. Much has changed in the life of the 19-year-old in the last 5 months or so since becoming a full-time student at UCLA. It's been an adjustment.
She was just 19 years old when she left her home.
I always like to stress myself out. I could just relax, you know, maybe take this year off, go to school, have fun, but no, I have to do everything. I wish there were like 600 hours to a day, you know, so I can fit everything in. Sometimes it's so easy just to want to scream, you know, just go out there and go, ah, I can't handle this. But realize, you know, this is what I committed myself to doing.
So far, so good, as Michelle has won her first 2 Grand Prix events. Still, there are cynics who doubt whether she can handle the pressures of both skating and school.
Well, I've got different opinions from different people. Some of them were like, in a few years, she won't be able to skate, and, you know, school can wait, skating can't. I think that's true. Skating can't wait. But also what I expect from school. School can't wait. I think right now is the perfect time because I'm not too old to be in the dorms, and I want the whole college experience. You know, I've had tutors since 8th grade, and it's just, I haven't had the social life. You know, I'm so used to just being in my little cubby hole up in the mountains, you know, away from everybody. I'm looking forward to just meeting a lot of different kind of people, going to basketball games and football games, party a little bit. I guess be one of the kids on campus and just sort of go into another world out of skating. The worst thing is to regret. You know, I don't want to be 25 and be like, oh, I wish I went. But right now, I'm not going to have any regrets because I went at it, I tried.
Michelle Kwan.
A demanding schedule for Michelle Kwan all season, and especially here in Lyon. For more on that, let's check in with Leslie Visser. Les?
Terry, Michelle spent the last 2 hours in a quiet corner of the arena with a blanket and a pillow. Her coach, Frank Carroll, said this format is grueling. He said it's like Las Vegas, a crapshoot. Terry?
Thanks, Leslie. 7s or 11s. She skates for the gold against Slutskaya.
Well, this young lady really knows how to pace herself. She's opening with a triple Lutz double toe. Very solid, very controlled.
Triple toe combination. Double toe. Look at how easy every move is. How gentle, laid back. There's tension, but there's softness and control on top of it.
Now coming up is this triple loop. She's been having trouble with this. And But she only did a single or a double. I spoke with her dad at the practice, and he said he tells Michelle that she has to understand that her schedule of school and the commitments and skating, something has to give. But he also told her that that's okay. It's what you want right now, and just try your best.
This triple flip, watch how straight the line is. 3 turns straight edge. That lack of a straight edge is what we've seen as the disaster point for so many other skaters.
Michelle Kwan has been very good here in Lyon, but remember, so has Irina Slutskaya, skating with renewed enthusiasm. She is still to take the ice for the gold medal here.
A little bit of a double foot on that triple Salchow. It's the steadiness of this edge that makes that spiral so good.
And she does it with the compliments of the music.
Skating now with more speed than I think I've seen her use in quite a long time.
And her final triple, the triple toe loop. A little lean in the air.
First-rate program all the way around. Everything was just sort of strong, technically superior, with a great deal of passion and yet quiet, laid-back quality that just overhung the whole thing. I'm just so impressed with this young lady that she's able to keep such a cool head about her and accomplish so much in addition to going to full-time school at the same time. This is nice. Now look at the triple Lutz that she does and how perfectly she places her foot as she goes into this. And this, remember, is at the end of the program. Now watch right here. Watch the right toe pick right there. You see that one is a straight line. The height is first rate. The tightness of the revolution and the feet, just really as good as they come. Watch again here. And these are steps and a very short entrance edge right there is the start of the entrance, and the toe pick and the tightness of the turns. That is nice.
5-6, 5-7.
Well, Danny Kwan may be right. Something has to give at some point, but it hasn't yet. Michelle with her coach, Frank Carroll. Now the first set of marks for technical merit, 5.6 up to 5.8.
Those are not generous marks. It was a very good performance all the way around, and I think infinitely superior technically to some of the other skaters that we've seen.
And now for presentation, 5.7 up to 5.9. Maybe not as high as you would have thought from that performance, but those are the marks that she has set. When we come back, can the comeback continue? Irina Slutskaya, once a proud champion, can she wear gold again here in Lyon?
Little Hershey's Kisses, big chocolate taste.
Back in Lyon, the Grand Prix of figure skating final underway. Terry Gannon, Dick Button, Peggy Fleming, and Leslie Visser, the gold medal challenge. underway here in the super final, and there is Arina Slutskaya, the young lady who a few years ago, yes, Dick said, "Can I pinch your cheeks?" And she said, "Yeah." All the old men do, as she said. 2 European titles, but then a slump after the world silver medal in '98. She has come out of that, though. She is skating brilliantly. She challenges Michelle Kwan for the gold now.
The music, the Don Quixote, the ballet by Ludwig Minkus.
And there is a new determination in her skating, a whole new side of artistry and feeling. And she is a terrific jumper.
Now, she has planned here a triple Lutz, triple loop combination right there. I want you to go right up into that triple loop. Extraordinary move. I think the first time I've ever seen a woman do that. This triple Salchow, again, right up into a triple loop. And now, you know, that edge to edge is the hardest of all entrances to another jump. You don't have the luxury of softening it with a toe pick or easing up on it. Good for her.
She seemed very surprised when she landed that,
And
that
remember,
second one.
there is some room, too. Michelle Kwan scores very good. Her performance was very good, but especially in the technical marks, there's some room.
Oh, lovely suspension and height that she gets into the jumps. Is there a dancer in the world that hasn't performed to Don Quixote?
This is where I see the improvement in her skating, is how she's holding these moves out more and feeling the music and doing all the details.
This is her 5th Grand Prix final. Her best finish back in '96, a second place finish to Michelle Kwan.
I think there's a great deal of heart that she's showing here. And feeling as well.
She gets wonderful spring in her jumps. Look at that, it just pops up in the air.
Final triple jump, a triple toe. Triple toe, double toe. Lovely heart.
Wonderful speed she has in this combination spin, and great stretch in this Bielman spin at the end on both legs. Great extension.
Well, I must say, that was a really sensational performance, you know, and I think she challenges Michelle Kwan very much in both enthusiasm and heart and in the choreographic simplicity of that program.
Last season, she was so down, she almost quit the sport entirely after finishing 4th at the Russian National Championships and not going to the Europeans or the World Championships. Arina Slutskaya is definitely back. Did Michelle Kwan do enough to capture the gold medal? We'll have Slutskaya's marks when we return to Lyon. Back in Lyon, France, and a look at the Notre Dame Basilica. Gorgeous sight, even though the French criticize the architecture. Very tough on their buildings here in France. A reminder, we are once again the home of the U.S. Figure Skating Championships. Will come your way for the 37th consecutive year, this time from Cleveland, Ohio. Michael Weiss taking on Timothy Gable in the men's competition. Then in prime time, three-time U.S. Ladies Champion Michelle Kwan takes on Sarah Hughes and Naomi Narinan. The State Farm U.S. Figure Skating Championships, Saturday, February 12th, here on ABC Sports. Your home for the NHL All-Star Game and Super Bowl 34. Back in Lyon, which one will wear the gold medal, Slutskaya or Kwan? We're waiting.
Now watch this combination. This is really first rate. The Lutz, very short takeoff, beautiful revolution, land, and stepping right up into that triple loop. No toe pick to help, no delay, no nothing. This here again is, watch this. First of all, a triple salchow. Now again, the foot in front and right up in that edge. That is really difficult.
2 international wins in 3 years. The long slump. Now the first set of marks. Look at that, 5.8 up to a perfect 6 from the French judge.
I think, I mean, I hate to say it, but I think we are seeing a major upset right now.
The presentation marks,
holy
5.7 to 5.9. Guess what?
Oh, but you know, this is the most shocking thing, because who would have, that is what skating is all about, the ability to turn yourself around. It's what between the ears as the most important thing that any skater can have, pulling their own act together. And that's what Irina Slutskaya did.
From almost quitting the sport to defeating Michelle Kwan here in Lyon for the gold medal. So the final standings here in Lyon, what a surprise to see Irina Slutskaya's name on top ahead of Michelle Kwan. Maria Butyrskaya captures the bronze medal here. But Dick, what about the top 2 skaters head-to-head? Who had the edge?
You've clearly got to give the triple jumps to Slutskaya. They were more difficult, more energetic, and great height. The spins, the same thing for their energy and their stretch. The footwork, because it was more sophisticated, I would give to Michelle Kwan, but the overall artistry had to go to Slutskaya. The choice of music was surefire, popular, and she skated with enthusiasm and energy.
And right now they have both joined Leslie Visser and Irina Slutskaya making a quick change of clothes. Leslie?
Quite a day in skating, Terry, as you've all been talking about. Irina, first to you, congratulations. What made you include those triples in the long program?
Thank you very much. And I don't know, I didn't think about my triples. Yes, I jump on the practices jump, but I never think about competition, what I can do these triples combinations. But today I think nothing to lose, and I won't just try for myself, and I do it.
Well, it was quite an impressive comeback you've had. Was this format difficult for you?
Yeah, I can't say this easy because I didn't skate last year, and this is difficult when you come on the ice. Lots of people look at you because last big competition I have final last year in St. Petersburg.
Terrific effort. Congratulations to you. Michelle, the music of your short program is A Day in the Life. What kind of a day was this?
A day in the life. Today was a long day. Usually you're in a rink maybe a couple hours, but today it's like short program, then you have to stay in the arena and sit around and then wait to do your long program, which was a little hard for all of us.
Yeah, your coach, Frank Carroll, called it grueling, and he said he thinks it might even put the skaters at risk.
I think it's more of a risk for pair skaters. I mean, for the boys to lift up their partners really hard. But today I felt really strong. I felt like I was well rested. I slept well. And it just, I gave an inch in my program, which I shouldn't have.
Do you wish you'd included a triple-triple?
Yes, I do. There's a huge demand on triple-triples. And technically, I think I could do a lot better.
Great. Well, we'll see you in Cleveland. On to the Nationals. Back to you, Terry.
A surprise finish to the ladies competition. What do the men have in store? They're waiting to take the ice for the super final when we come back after this message and a word from our ABC stations. The quad, 4 revolutions, a key weapon in the arsenal, and they've all got it. Yevgeny Plushenko, Elvis Stoyko, and Timothy Gable. Plushenko's quad triple double combination helped him win the NHK trophy. his third victory of the Grand Prix series. Three-time world champion Elvis Stojko has fought hard to prove that he is still a force on the international scene. So far, he succeeded. While American Timothy Gable became the first skater ever to land 3 quads in one program. Can he do it again for a title? The slate is clean. The men are next. Along the Saône and Rhône rivers which divide this city, Lyon, France, all lit up on this Saturday night. A gorgeous town any time of day, but especially dramatic once the sun goes down. And we welcome you back inside the Lyon Sports Palace. The ladies having settled their title, it is now up to the men to decide the Grand Prix of figure skating final. Hello again, everyone. Terry Gannon back with you. This was to be a showdown in the men's competition between Yevgeny Plushenko, the world silver medalist, and fellow Russian Alexei Yagudin, the reigning world champion. But Yagudin was forced to withdraw this past week because of an injured right heel and a broken boot, which he said could not be replaced in time. So as we look at the 6 men who have made it here to the final, it is Plushenko, without question, who is the headliner. He's been perfect on the season. The American, the king of the quad now, Timothy Gable, competing against an all-star field that includes 3-time world champion Elvis Stojko. As it was for the ladies, this is a radical format here. The first 2 rounds, including the free skate worth 2/3 of the score, the short program then that is worth 1/3. Just like the ladies, if you're in the top 4, you move on to the super final. You have to prepare another free skate. Numbers 3 and 4 battle for the bronze, and the top 2 skaters here compete for the gold medal. Now, the men have already completed their first 2 rounds. Dick Button and I called the action. Let's take a look back to see what happened. Here is the 3-time world champion from Canada, Elvis Stojko.
It's a triple axel. Beautifully controlled. Beautifully controlled. He sometimes plans here a quad, but he didn't quite make it. He fell out of it. That was his attempt at 4 revolutions. Triple flip jump.
Oh for 2 on his quad jumps, but strong enough elsewhere in his program to receive solid marks from the judges and leave Elvis Stojko in the hunt for the super final here in Lyon. The 3-time world champion then gave way to Alexander Apt of Russia. He finished 7th in the Grand Prix, just out of the top 6, and a last-minute substitute for Yagudin.
His first move, a triple axel. Magnificent height, followed by a triple toe loop. That was superb. And this is it coming up. It's a quadruple toe loop. No, he never got off the edge.
Coming back off of injuries which have kept him off the ice the past few seasons, or much of the past few, Apt skating better than ever this season. And here is the lone American in the men's competition, 19-year-old Timothy Gable.
This is his quad. A beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Salchow toe combination. Quadruple toe loop that did not land. Here is his quadruple Salchow. And that one too is down. This is not his night for those quadruple jumps.
With his calling card, the quad, leaving him on this night, the 19-year-old American fell short of expectations and moved right behind Apt into 3rd place. The 17-year-old from St. Petersburg, Russia, who was on a roll this season. I'm not sure anyone has skated better than Yevgeny Plushenko.
Here is the first one, a quadruple toe loop. Forward step. Good height. Triple toe loop.
He has been perfect throughout the Grand Prix series and was the best in the opening round here in Lyon. The opening free skate standings, Yevgeny Plushenko the leader. Remember, it counts for 2/3 of the overall score. Elvis Stoico in second, and then Alexander Abt, Timothy Gable round out the top 4. Then it was on to round 2, the short program. Elvis Stoico, the 5-time Canadian national champion, taking the ice and trying to press for the lead. A typical, powerful Stoico effort with a strong finish, even though he thought Ella was so-so. Then the leader took the ice, Yevgeny Plushenko, the world silver medalist, with a short program that did not slow down or stop from start to finish. On top before the short, on top after the short program. So your top 4 set for the super final. Yevgeny Plushenko takes on Elvis Stoico. Youth against experience for the gold. And for the bronze medal, Alexander Abt battling the American Timothy Gable. So this ISU Grand Prix of figure skating now heats up for the men. They're on the ice warming up for the super final. Terry Gannon, Dick Button back with you. We have already seen plenty of fireworks here in Lyon this evening. We saw Arina Slutskaya win the gold medal over Michelle Kwan, perform a triple Lutz, triple loop combination, the first time we've ever seen that in a ladies figure skating event. We expect more fireworks tonight from the men, especially with the gold medal matchup, the 2 big names.
Well, I don't think there's going to be any doubt about it. You see, the world of men's skating these days is like a dartboard with all the men throwing quadruples at it and hoping to hit a bullseye. Well, those of us in the audience had better stand far back so we don't get hit by flying bodies. The opening round here had some pretty wild misses. Now, with the world champion Alexei Yagudin out with an injury, 17-year-old Evgeny Plushenko seems to have staked out his claim to the Grand Prix title. But don't forget Elvis Stoico. He hasn't been called the king all these years for nothing. Remember, he's solid, he's steady, and he's savvy, and he knows how to navigate the difficulties of this very difficult competitive format. So don't count him out.
Well, the king skates against the kid later on, but up next, the bronze medal matchup. Timothy Gable of the U.S. against Alexander Abt of Russia when we return. A name that is known worldwide, Paul Bocuse. Leslie Visser had the difficult assignment of visiting his restaurant earlier.
We're watching Roger make the truffle soup, which he says this is the season for truffles. Of course, they're very rare and difficult to find, and I promise to bring you all back a cup of soup. To the French, food is life, and here the restaurant of Paul Bocuse is considered a cathedral of dining, the equivalent of playing golf at Augusta or singing at Carnegie Hall. Hey, Terry, if you have 4 hours, this is a great place to catch lunch on the run.
Leslie, I think the appropriate phrase here is merci beaucoup. Pardon the pun. Last one I'll use. The super final gets underway now for the men here in Lyon. Timothy Gable of the United States takes the ice, battling for the bronze medal.
The music, 7 Years in Tibet by John Williams. This was the program that he became the first to perform 3 quadruple jumps in one program at Skate America earlier this fall. He's planned the same thing here. Triple axel, triple toe loop.
So far, Gable is 1 for 4 in terms of those quads you speak of, Dick, here in this competition.
Now we'll see if he's capable of this first beautiful, beautiful quadruple Salchow triple toe loop. A Salchow, quadruple Salchow, but he's down. Combination spin. Series of running turns into a back flying death drop sit spin. Now watch the way he enters this next triple jump. Low slinging back, shoot the duck. Oh, he did that. Oh, he did that from an outside edge. That was supposed to have been a triple Salchow. Instead, he substituted what looked to me to be like a loop jump. The end result was he slipped off the back outside edge. A disastrous thing for any skater at any time. He never got off the ice. You know, that can be one of the most crucifying moves, is to slip off that edge. You never know it's coming. You never get off the edge. You skate onto the edge of your boot and you're gone. And I can tell you something, he will never, ever, ever go into that jump again without remembering the fact that he fell this time on that particular edge.
I think a smile of embarrassment on Timothy Gable's face because of the last move.
Now look at this quadruple Salchow combination. Beautiful, tight revolution right up into the second jump. Easy as it can be. Completed the revolution in the air before he landed. But here he tries a quadruple again, only a single one, and can't hold the landing. Perhaps doing two is better than doing one. But right here at the end, look as he comes up out of that shoot the duck and now steps for a back loop. Never gets off the air, never gets off the ice, hits the boot, and he's out.
There's a look at the panel of judges working here in Lyon tonight. Dick, what's on their minds?
Now, what the judges look for in the men's competition is, first of all, a well-balanced program. In the jumping technique, there's got to be good flow in and out of the jumps, good height, and a fine position in the air. There must be originality in the program, and the quality of spins must be centered, well-sustained, no rocking motion, and the correct number of revolutions in each position.
5-6, 5-6.
Well, it's been feast or famine in terms of the quad jumps this year for Timothy. Never really matched that 3-quad effort or came close to it. Then he had at Skate America. Along with his coach, Carol Heiss-Jenkins, 5-6s, 5-7s for technical merit.
Those are good marks. They're recognizing the quadruple that he did do.
And now for presentation, Dick.
They're all over the lot from 5-4 to 5-8, and that reflects the fact that people do and don't like what he was doing as a stylist.
5-4, 5-8.
Up next, the challenge from the 23-year-old Russian. Alexander Abt takes the ice trying to top Timothy Gable when we come back to Lyon. Back in Lyon, the third largest city here in France, and a look at Pont Bonaparte, which the French say much better than I do, but the bridge that was built back in 1864 in honor of Napoleon III. Don't forget, we're back with you tomorrow once again from Lyon. The Grand Prix final continues with the pairs and ice dancing finals. The Canadians and a surprise team this year. Jamie Salé and David Pelletier take on two-time world champs Yelena Berezhnaya and Anton Sikaridliza. Then in ice dance, Anasina and Pezera skate here in their hometown of Lyon. 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 Pacific, right here on ABC Sports tomorrow. You're home for Super Bowl 34. Here in Lyon, the super final continues for the men. Alexander Abt takes the ice, battling Timothy Gable for the bronze medal, the 23-year-old from Moscow.
The music is songs from Victoria City, Tablet, and Basta.
Abt, a replacement for Alexei Yagudin, who we mentioned earlier, had to withdraw because of an injured right heel and a broken boot, which he didn't have time to replace.
Has a wild freestyle. Look at this triple axel. Falling out as he goes up into the second part of that combination of triple toe loop.
He's the only man here who has never landed a quad in competition.
Well, he has one listed as this next move. Remember, he's free to change his mind at any time. Here it is. And it was a quadruple toe, but it was double-footed, and he will not get the credit that he should have gotten for that move. Great effort, though. I'm not sure what dance hall he's in this particular moment. That would have been a triple axel. It ended up being a single one.
No matter who you're rooting for, you have to be happy for Alexander Abt. Came onto the scene in '95 with great potential, but has suffered injury after injury. A hip injury, a knee, cut his quadriceps with his skate blade. Was hospitalized for 6 months, couldn't walk for another 3 months after that. And here he is, skating again with the best in the world.
Lutz jump, double Lutz jump rather. A very nice position on that forward camel. See how he's up on the toe? That's not good. He should be flatter. It would make a steadier, more complete spin. Triple flip jump. Almost as though he's thrown this program together. Triple loop jump, not very satisfactory.
Well, he just found out 5 days ago that he was due to skate here.
Well, what he's doing is moving from one end of the ice to the other and popping a jump at each end. And a lot of moves like this which don't make much sense. Sit spin, not a very good position. Well, that was an incomplete program. It showed the fact that he got the bid to come here just 5 days ago. This is one sport that you just can't pull it out of the hat every single time. You got to have preparation. You got to have all those elements that make this sport work. And that means music and choreography, sensitivity, development, creativity, as well as wildly difficult technique. Now look at the way he goes into this quadruple toe loop jump right there. Wonderful revolution, but he double foots the landing, and that will not give him the credit. Watch here now as he goes up into the air. Watch him step on the right back outside edge right here. No, turn first. Now he steps on it right here. Toe pick. Now watch, the 2 feet are on the ice at the landing, and that'll hurt him.
5-3, 5-3.
So Timothy Gable joins Alexander Abt now as they await the marks. The first set for technical merit, 5.3 up to 5.5.
Not very good,
no.
And that's really reflecting the fact that he was all over the lot, trying to pull off these jumps, making some and missing some.
Fairly wide range for presentation too, 5.4 to 5.7. So it's Timothy Gable, the United States entry here at the Grand Prix of Figure Skating Final for the men, who wins the bronze medal in Lyon.
5-7, 5-4.
Gable, 19 years of age, the college freshman who was not perfect tonight. In fact, he wasn't close to being as good as we have seen him, especially when he had a historic long program at Skate America with the 3 quads. But it was enough to win. The gold medal matchup is straight ahead. Plushenko takes on Stoyko. They're both wearing gold. Who will capture it? We'll begin to find out right after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
The ISU Grand Prix of Figure Skating Final continues on ABC Sports.
Terry Gannon, Dick Button, Leslie Visser, and it's hard to imagine a better matchup for the gold medal here in Lyon. The Grand Prix of Figure Skating Final about to be decided. The wily veteran, the rising star. Here is Elvis Stoyko skating head-to-head with Yevgeny Plushenko.
And what a credit he is to this sport. Powerful, hardworking, just never stops. He's been a great competitor. The first to do quadruple jumps, in the first rank of people who have been able to perform them. This is his planned one right here. You know, sometimes it's harder to do those as a single jump than it is to do them in combination.
Why would that be?
Because your mind is on the second jump and not on the first.
Elvis has said that this format, this competition, so taxing, it's all about the last man standing. A war of attrition. He's trying to be just that.
These moves all explained by realizing that the music is from the motion picture The Mummy. Triple Lutz jump. Planned another quadruple toe right here. Let's see. Yes, it looks like it. No, a triple toe. Remember, there's no loss of points for not doing something. You just don't get the extra points for having done it. Jump. A waltz jump. We don't see many of those. That's the simplest of all, a half revolution, but right up into that triple Salchow. And a sit spin. Line footwork, the kind of thing he does so well. The final combination spin. A very tough program.
Well, at 27 years of age, Elvis Stojko has won 3 world championships, 2 Olympic silver medals, and he tells us he thinks he's yet to reach his full potential.
Well, I think tonight was not his most invigorating night. There was a little slowness during the program. It wasn't as strong as it could have been. But take a look at this first quadruple toe combination or jump that he attempted right at the beginning of the program. Watch 1, 2, 3, 4. Now watch the landing. the feet uncrossed, and it just didn't quite get out of it in time. Now, he had good height, good revolution, but you'll see that both feet land on the ice at the same time, and that stops him from being able to hold the edge and skate out of it. Now look at this waltz jump. You just don't see those anymore. That's what you used to see in the 20s or so, the 1920s. That's all that people could do.
5-4, 5-5, 5.
Oh, you're getting all over the 1920s skaters? Some of my favorites. Come on now.
Well, I'll tell you something. They did things beautifully.
Technical merit mark stick 5.2 up to 5.6.
Not very happy marks for him. I think that just the fact was that they were not happy with the combination and the wild variety of moves that he had.
Presentation now in the 5.6 up to 5.8 range. Yeah, Elvis, so-so about those. Not real thrilled about the marks and the performance here in Lyon.
5-6. Thank you.
A golden opportunity now for Yevgeny Plushenko at the NHK Trophy, the quad triple-double. He's got one planned here in Lyon tonight. 3 straight wins in the Grand Prix. He goes for his biggest title next here in Lyon.
5.8, 5.7, 6.0. Oh.
Mounds and Almond Joy, because everybody needs a 5-minute vacation.
Back in Lyon, and a look at one of the last Italian-style theaters built in this country. Back in the 1870s, the theater welcomes nearly 250,000 people each year. Well, a reminder, the State Farm U.S. Figure Skating Championships. They come your way Saturday, February 12th. Michael Weiss and Timothy Gable will be there on the men's side. And the young guns, Naomi Neri-Nam and Sarah Hughes, try to upset Michelle Kwan. Here on ABC Sports Saturday, February 12th. Your home for the NHL All-Star Game and Super Bowl 34. The men's super final continues. Let's check in right now with Leslie Visser. Leslie?
Terry, how have the skaters handled this unusual format? After the short program, Yevgeny Plushenko and his Russian teammate Alexander Apt changed their clothes and went for a walk. Elvis Stoico told me he was going to power down for an hour, then recharge his emotional batteries. He said this event is like the Indy 500. You don't want to run out of gas before the final turn. Terry?
All right, Leslie, thank you. It has come down to the youngest man in the competition taking on the oldest man in the competition, 17-year-old Yevgeny Plushenko, the reigning world silver medalist, trying to take over the top spot this season. He expected to be battling Alexei Yagudin, but he's trying to win the gold over the 3-time world champ, Elvis Stoico.
He's got flair, he's got a sense of humor, he loves playing with the audience, but look at this combination. First, a quadruple toe loop, a triple toe loop, up into a double loop. Now that is one heck of a combination.
That's the 3rd time that he has done that. At the NHK Trophy in Japan, he became the first to ever do it. He repeated that at the Russian National Championships, where he defeated Alexei Yagudin.
Well, now that that's off his mind, he's got a lot of freedom, I think, and fresh air coming in. Look at this triple axel. Triple toe loop. A little trouble on the end, but actually, who cares at this stage of the game? Now you can see the playfulness that he gets going with this. The difficult moves are out of the way. Triple axel. spectacular footwork. He loves those kind of moves, and he loves milking the audience. Triple Lutz jump.
Speaking of those matchups with Yagudin, which he expected here, they used to train together under Alexei Mishin, and there's not much love lost between the two Russian skaters.
Triple flip jump. Sit spin combination that's really not as great as it could be. Triple Salchow. Combination spin. Well, it was really a very fine program and a very good program, and he did lots of triple jumps, 8 of them to be exact, and 1 quadruple.
Standing ovation and a nod.
Yes, and all of that is deserved. Yep. And he deserves this championship very much. It was not a great performance, and it is a beatable performance. He needs style, he needs focusing, he needs fulfilling, he needs better choreography and better movement. But what he does do, I mean, he's got the energy and he's got the jumps and he's got everything going for him. So it's still a pretty terrific performance.
But Dick, we all hate to admit it, but we have to. Youth has its rewards.
Oh, yeah.
17 years of age.
You can't,
endless energy.
You can't beat it. Now look at this quadruple combination. First, a quadruple toe loop. That is spectacular. And now he steps back into a triple toe loop, lands, and goes up into a double loop. That is wonderful. Now, I don't care what about the rest of it. That was superb. Now, here again, watch this. First, the quadruple. Step back, tap it, and do a triple toe loop. And now land and don't do anything but just rise off that edge. That is tough and awfully well done.
5-8, 5-8.
Now, he's received 4 perfect sixes throughout the Grand Prix series, including his early performances here in Lyon. The first set of marks, 5.8. There it is. A perfect 6. That's the first one he's received all year for technical merit.
Pretty terrific marks, I will tell you. They really liked that.
And the second set now, 3 perfect 6s. How about that, Dick?
Well, I think that was very generous, and I'm happy for him that he's got it.
Yeah, but even the hand from Elvis Stoico, who knew that tonight Yevgeny Plushenko was better. Elvis did not skate up
to
the level that we've grown accustomed. So Yevgeny Plushenko with the win here. He has not lost this season so far. He edges out Elvis Stoico for the gold medal. The American Timothy Gable beats Alexander Abt for the bronze. Your final standings here in the men's super final. The gold medalist now has joined Leslie Visser. Leslie?
Terry, he may be the youngest competitor, but he looked like a master tonight. Yevgeny, congratulations. You skated 3 programs in 2 days. How difficult was that?
Well, it's not difficult for me because I work for these programs. It's okay for me. It's not difficult.
You made it look pretty easy. You have the World Championships. You were 2nd in the world last year. How do you feel for this year?
Well, I must work more after this competition. You know, I must do it. I think in the world I must do it quad Salkov and quad Tolop.
Well, we will see you in Nice. I think after this competition, you deserve a rest. Back to you, Terry.
Leslie, thank you. Dick, obviously Plushenko had the edge tonight, but how does it break down?
Well, the quads and the triples cleanly go to Plushenko. I give Stoyko the spins because even though Plushenko can grab his leg and do a Denise Bielman, Stoyko has the better quality. The footwork and artistry, I guess I have to go with what the judges said because simply he had more energy, more excitement, and more chutzpah than anybody else.
Another look at the winner here. We're back with some final thoughts in a moment. Back in Lyon one final time as we wrap things up here at the Grand Prix final. And time now to take a look at the Xenical magic moment. We take you back to Arena Slutskaya's triple Lutz, triple loop combination. The first one that we have seen from a ladies figure skater.
And each of those jumps extremely difficult, but to connect them by this simple edge shows extraordinary technique.
Slutskaya and Plushenko, the winners tonight. We're back with you tomorrow afternoon, though, from Lyon. The ISU Grand Prix of Figure Skating Final continues with the pairs and ice dancers. Our coverage begins at 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 Pacific. You're on ABC Sports, home of Super Bowl 34. And a reminder, ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com, part of the Go Network. For Dick Button, Peggy Fleming, and Leslie Visser, I'm Terry Gannon. Until tomorrow, good night from Lyon, everyone.